intro video. So we're recording.
Do you want to stand with me, or do you want to be in it?
What are you doing? Just talking about it?
Well, I'll say hey Harmonizers, I'll do like a little intro, and then I'll just hand it over to you to
Talk about it?
yeah.
Okay.
And you can say a little bit about what's going on and
Okay.
that kind of stuff.
And then I'll suit it up and then I'll go great. Oh my gosh.
And usually I'll say like we do, like, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hey Harmonizers, welcome to this video. We've got Mr. Clyde with us and a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Adrienne from Fit to Compete.
And we've got the Bemer technology, and I really wanted to try this on Clyde because when Adrienne reached out to me, she told me some of the benefits of doing the Bemer. I call it a Bemer blanket. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bemer horse set, yep.
So when she told me about it, one of the benefits is helping with relaxation and calmness, and sort of like that body balance piece. And so Clyde, we know from the videos that he's a pretty sensitive guy. He's more reactive to certain things than others. So I thought, let's try it with Clyde. He's a pretty sensitive horse and see how he likes it. So I'm pretty excited to see. So Mr. Clyde is staying in the back. He's already got it on. So why don't you kind of walk us through and tell us what's going on? And
Clyde has the Bemer horse set on. So Bemer is a patented technology. It's increasing the microcirculation in the body. It's a human medical device, and we're really lucky to have it in the horse version as well. So microcirculation is down to your capillary level. That's where all the blood, oxygen and nutrient exchange occurs in the body. It's where all the oxygen and nutrient exchange occurs in the body. So it's kind of supporting the body doing whatever it is it needs to be doing. It doesn't matter if it's blood, muscle, lymph, respiratory. It's hitting all those points because all we're doing is increasing that blood flow and the body's doing the rest. It increases parasympathetic nervous system. So that's kind of where the rest and digest comes in, which is super important for our equine athletes. And as you can tell, he's already starting to settle in. There's a few different intensities, and the horses really pick which one's their favorite. So he's just starting out. He seems to not mind the lowest intensity, and we're interested to see how he feels with the next one.
This is really interesting for me to watch him because so I've done videos for the Harmonizers before to show them, like when I sit on him at the mounting block, just how long I sit there before he'll do like a big exhale and release. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting to see that this video's been going for less than 4 minutes. And he did some really big licks and chews, a really big blowout. Now we saw a little bit of pawing there. I guess that's just kind of normal.
Yeah,
He's kind of just normal pawing.
And the horse next door is getting green now, so I think
that's kind of mean. Yeah, Prairie's getting some food over there. Fair enough. Makes sense. Very interesting. What do you think, Clyde? How you feeling? So when would we see any type of change? Like how many times do they have to wear the technology before we'd see a change?
So you should notice a change after just one session.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to notice that they're a little more relaxed. The real magic happens when they can get it frequently. Just like us, we have blood flow flowing all the time, right? So the more you can do it, the better it is. So for really anxious horses or horses who have some sort of concern, whether acute or severe chronic issue, a couple times a week is great to really kind of work it down. Otherwise, maintenance schedules, once a week, once a month type of thing is great, but you'll notice the difference after the first session.
Okay. And so usually this is used for horses with injuries too, or?
Yeah, it's great. It's just supporting the body, as I said, doing whatever it is it needs to do. So yes, it's really good for acute injuries, chronic injuries, arthritis, that sort of thing. But it's also good, like I put it on my horses before I ride each day. And when you get on the horse after they've had a Bemer session, they almost feel like they're warmed up already. That's what we are trying to do with warm up, right? Is getting their blood pumping. So we've got it going, and they're ready to work.
Interesting. And so how long is a session typically that you put the technology on for?
A session is usually 20 to 30 minutes. It really depends on the horse and what we're working on. If it's something acute, we'll do lots of mini sessions in one day. So I have the cuff just on his head here, but for a horse that has really sore feet or a bruise or something, we'll put it on their feet, and we'll do that maybe 4 or 5 mini sessions in a day.
Interesting. Okay. Very cool. And so what it's actually doing, like, is it in an energy pulse in the blanket or?
Yeah, so it's being delivered through low intensity pulse electromagnetic fields, but it's a patented signal, and it's the patented signal that's increasing that microcirculation, and they use the low intensity PEMF as a vehicle for the signal.
Very interesting. Yeah, he's had quite a few licks and chews, and very interesting to see what you're doing, Mr. Clyde. Cool. So he's basically going to stand here for another
20 minutes.
Another 20 minutes or so. Okay. And then afterwards, if I go take him for a little walk around the arena, we might see a little bit of a change in him. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. So we're going to let Mr. Clyde stand on the cross ties and enjoy his session for a little bit, and then we'll check in afterwards and we'll see how he's doing. So this is Mr. Clyde after his treatment, standing on the cross ties here. So he's definitely looks like he was ready for a nap a little bit earlier, like pretty chilled out. Now he's kind of looking around a bit more than what he was. I'm going to try getting on him in a minute. We're going to bring Fairly in, and she's going to get a session as well. But yeah, he's looking pretty good. He's definitely has chilled out a bit. He enjoyed himself for sure. Very interesting. Cool stuff. All right, so this is me with Clyde at the mounting blocks. I wanted to show you guys kind of a full test ride so you kind of could see the difference from start to finish. So basically, this is me hopping on Mr. Clyde, and I don't have a saddle on him just because I wanted to be able to feel him a little bit better. So I'm using my thin line bareback pad. And I want you to notice how quickly he starts to lick and chew, like he's already doing it right there, and how present he looks, like he's not catatonic, he's moving around, his ears are flicking back and forth. So normally that takes me longer. I don't usually just kind of hop on him and go for a ride. Sometimes that process can take several minutes before he starts to breathe and relax and lick and chew. So that was definitely the biggest change that I noticed right there after the treatment. So that was pretty interesting for me. And then I go off and I walk him around, and I'm noticing when I'm walking him that he's kind of like marching along. Like he feels to me very ready to work, ready to do things. So I kind of check in with the halt transition there and ask him to go forward again. And you can just see in the rhythm of his walk, like there's a bit of a pep to his stride a little bit. So in contrast, like normally when I ride Clyde, he starts off kind of a little bit kind of introverted and kind of inside himself a little bit, kind of holding his breath and a little bit more sticky and hesitant. I feel like I can't typically ask him to go up into a trot right away, or it might be something where I might get an explosion or an overreaction, but he's just feeling really loose in his stride and really relaxed there. And I am riding him in a halter with reins. Normally I ride him in the fusion halter with reins, but I had the leather halter on him already for when he was on the cross ties, because that's what he actually wears, a leather halter out in the field, just because he can be a little bit kind of skittish and wary of new people. And so I didn't want him to be hard to catch for staff out in the field in case they needed to get him. So he is wearing the halter out in the field, and so because he had that on when he came in, then we just kind of left it on him for the session. And I didn't anticipate, I didn't think about riding him after the Bemer session, so that's why I didn't have the fusion halter on to be prepared. So anyways, we've got the leather halter on, and I felt like I would have enough steering control because Clyde is typically a more sensitive horse, so he's not really the type of horse that's going to try to ignore me or pull on me. So that part doesn't surprise me at all, that he's still kind of a responsive fella. But the fact that he feels very like already breathing and kind of letting loose in his body and kind of marching along, I'm feeling like he's pretty good and ready to do some trot work. And I am riding him in that thin line bareback pad with the thin line saddle pad instead of the saddle. But I feel like, you know, let's go for some trotting. At this point in Clyde's training, I have rode him walk trot, and we have gone around the ring, and I haven't done canter yet. I've asked for fast trot, and his movement's pretty big. I actually find it a little bit bouncy. Here it goes black because my lights are on a timer at our facility, just because people have a habit of leaving lights on. So instead we put everything on a timer, and so they accidentally go off because we forgot to reset the timer before we rode. They can stay on up to 4 hours long, but anyways, we didn't think about it. So that's why it went dark there. And he was chill about it. He was relaxed about it. And so in his training, you know, we've done walk trot. We just haven't done canter yet. And his movement is pretty bouncy compared to Valero. I find him a little bit harder to sit to. He's pretty springy in his step. I do a little bit of trot pulls and stuff there. And but he's feeling really good. And because his movement is kind of bigger and more bouncy, I haven't felt ready to go to the canter just yet, because we're still kind of getting to know each other, and I know he can be a little bit more timid in his body. But just look how he's marching along. He's just like, yeah, I'm totally ready to go. And like the rhythm in his stride, the eagerness to move forward, the amount of times that he's flicking his ears back to check in with me, all of this to me says that he's being a very attentive boy, and he's feeling pretty awesome. So I didn't feel the need to do a super ton with him under saddle. I could tell that he felt different and that he felt awesome. And so that was pretty cool. So I'm like, you know, is this because of the Bemer, or is this because, you know, we finally got to that point in our training? But really, I hadn't been doing a whole lot with him in the last week or so, because I'd just been really busy. So that was super interesting. And now this is Fairly, and Fairly is my 2019 thoroughbred for the makeover. So she's just getting settled in with a session. And so this is her knee before. That is poofy, and the vet's looked at it a couple times, and we've been trying sweaty knits and done a few different things. She did antibiotics for a bit for it, and it just kind of refuses to go down. So you can kind of see, stand properly, Fairly. You can kind of see, ooh, good girl. Can you back up a step? Try to stand square-ish. You can definitely see it's her left knee is bigger than her right one. Still not standing perfect to get like a really good view, Fairly. That made it. She's not trained in showmanship. She doesn't know how to square up her legs. Whoa.
Half a step.
She's like, what's half a step? Full step? Stay. Good girl. There, stay. Stay. Don't fidget. Why you gotta fidget? She's like, because I'm like you. Can't stand still. Alright. Okay, so this is after the Bemer treatment. This is a look at the knee, and I know that the lighting is not super amazing. There's a lot of shadows and stuff because it's nice time, but hopefully you can get a good look there, and I'd love to hear what you think. To me, it's looking pretty even there. And then this is what Fairly looks like afterwards. She definitely looks more chilled out, lots of licking and chewing. She actually looked like she was going to have a nap. So I'm pretty intrigued by this Bemer technology. I definitely want to do another session with my horses and do a few more of my horses. But I am liking what I'm seeing and would love to hear your thoughts. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Bye for now.